guys, welcome back to Hasty Vegan. I'm Shayla and today we're making vegan spicy chicken patties. Today's recipe is by Rabbit and Wolves. I love her page. She has a lot of Cajun recipes, which I'm from Louisiana. I love Cajun food. One thing that I have made that I love that I'll tell you guys to go to her page and get, she makes tofu with some cheesy grits. Now let me tell you, that was really good. If you guys want me to make that in a future video, comment below so I'll know what you guys are interested in making, but really good. Today's recipe, I'm actually modifying. It is technically chicken sandwiches, but since I'm following a diet, I'm actually gonna take these patties and make it into a Caesar salad for my meal prep for this week. So with that, let's begin. So for today's recipe, it's actually really simple. If you're looking at the link below with the recipe, it might seem a little wordy, like there's a lot of ingredients, but it's really simple. However, I am gonna keep the recipe really close to me to make sure I'm doing, putting the right things in the right bowl. So it's gonna be a 3-step thing where we put the ingredients in my food processor. It does say to mash. I'm not about that life. If I put everything in here and then I blend it all together, it should mix well. And if it needs to be mixed a little bit more, I'll take it out of here and hand stir it to get it, make sure everything's evenly distributed, all the seasonings, etc. Second thing is we are gonna put it in a breading. The recipe does call for panko and regular breadcrumbs. I just have panko. Actually, I accidentally bought gluten-free panko, so we're gonna test that out today. And then the last thing to do is just bake it. So it's really, really simple. I already have our ingredients out, so let's go ahead and start assembling. So the first thing it says is to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. I've already got that going. Now it says drain the beans, add them to the mixing bowl. Like I said, I'm not mashing. We're gonna go ahead and put them in here. The beans are cannellini beans. I don't know why I struggle saying that, but they're cannellini beans. And so I'm gonna use my little spoon here and go ahead and put them, I've already drained them, putting them into my food processor here. All right, then the next thing we wanna do is we wanna add olive oil, veggie broth. So I've got my veggie broth here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in because I'm gonna measure out the other ingredients. Our soy sauce and our chili paste. All right, so I'm gonna go back up here to see how much of these things that I need. So 1 tablespoon of our olive oil. So I'm gonna grab a tablespoon real quick. So for our seasonings, I do have little spoons that I use to actually more accurately measure out my seasonings. When it comes to liquids, I just use my tablespoon and my teaspoons for that. So all right, it says that we want 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and do that since that's what I grabbed first. Ooh. Right. 2. Then it says 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So we're gonna do that. I buy from Costco, y'all. All right. And then it says for my chili paste, so I didn't have regular chili paste, I have garlic chili paste. So that's just what I'm gonna go ahead and use. And it says 2 teaspoons. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my spoon here and give myself 2 teaspoons. This is a spicy chicken recipe. So it's supposed to taste a little spicy. I am not putting red pepper flakes. I just wanna let you know that that is a modification that I'm making. The next thing it wants us to do is use vital wheat gluten, a cup of vital wheat gluten. So this is my first time using vital wheat gluten, but actually it's really good numbers for those of you who are interested in like low fat, high proteins, etc. I think the package says 70 to 80% protein. It was actually really good numbers, super surprised. Use my spoon here to make sure I don't make too much of a mess. Again, the recipe, if you're reading, says to like mash and stir at each one of these steps. I'm just gonna blend at the end. All right. Then it says also to add 1/3 cup of panko, salt, and cayenne pepper. So I already have my salt and cayenne pepper in here with my panko, my gluten-free panko, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in as well. All right, and then it says stir to combine. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on here and make a little bit of noise and get this combined. All right, so all of our ingredients are blended now. It does say to knead it like dough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out and pour everything into my bowl. I got a new clean bowl. And then knead it, and that'll also make sure that any seasonings that may be uneven get spread out. So the next step here, it says, once all that's together, now and stir, combine, then begin to knead with your hands until the mixture forms a nice ball that isn't sticky and holds together well. So that's what it says. So I'm gonna sit here and knead. I think it's sticking pretty well together. It smells pretty good. It's so crazy. The texture of this is sticking together really well. So yeah, I can definitely see how this is gonna be like a meaty texture. The smell of it's interesting. Like it doesn't quite smell like bread, but it smells good at the same time. All right, so it's a ball that isn't sticky, but holds well together. So now we have our vital gluten, we have our chicken. Oh, a little bean got away. We're gonna stick that in there. So we have our chicken, and the next thing it says to do is to have in a bowl, we're gonna have our panko. So the remaining half cup of panko, the plain breadcrumbs, red pepper flakes, if you guys put that in there, and chili powder. So I've already done that, so I'm just gonna bring this over and show you guys. It's already, the seasonings are already mixed in. Of course, I wanna make a note that, like, of course you want to season your breadcrumbs. You wanna season this, you wanna season that, because again, as I mentioned in my very first video, we're not sacrificing flavor for the sake of being vegan. The whole point of this is how can we be healthy? How can we do what's best for our bodies? And of course, if those of you who are doing this for the environment, but not sacrifice the joy of food and eating. So that's my little soapbox today. So let's keep going. So I already have this combined, the panko, the seasonings. All right. Then what it says, then divide the chicken mixture into 4 equal pieces. Roll each piece into a large ball. Then put one of the balls into the bowl with the breadcrumb mixture. Press down flat. So okay, first thing, this should have been a 2-step instruction, Mrs. Rabbit and Wolves. So first thing we need to do is we need to take our chicken and we need to make 4 equal pieces. So let's do that real quick. So I'm gonna try to split it in half. Oh boy. So I guess wheat gluten it sticks together. Is that pretty even? That's crazy. Texture. I can definitely see that this is gonna have a texture like chicken. Okay. All right. So I have my 4 chicken patties here, and the next step. This is part 7 or part 2 of point 7 here. Like I said, it should have been a 2-step instruction there. But what it's saying is you're going to take our balls and we're going to put them in our breadcrumbs, our seasoned breadcrumbs. How it's saying to do that is to push it in and flatten it out, so that way our breadcrumbs coat it, and then we're gonna flip it over and do the same thing. So let's do that. So I'm gonna press it to make my patty. Let's look at my finished patties here. One of them I actually had to redo. I was pushing it down into the breadcrumbs, and again, like I said, the texture of this like gluten-free panko is weird. It's very chunky, which is different than if you get regular panko breadcrumbs. Again, my brand I like to use is Trader Joe's. This was convenient. Probably will not use again. It also doesn't look, if you look in here, it doesn't look like it blended very well with the seasoning. So hopefully the seasonings got on the breadcrumbs that are currently on my chicken patty. I wouldn't say it has full coverage, but it is considered breaded in my mind. So the next step here is actually to go into the oven. So actually, I missed a step. Before you put it in the oven, use your non-stick spray. It says to spray it over the tops. I did not make a note of this, but my pan, I am using a parchment paper. It's just my pans are old and it sticks, and maybe there's a little bit of rust under there, and I don't want that to obviously contaminate my food. So I use my parchment paper until I get new pans, and then just with the recipe, put this on top. You're gonna put it in the oven for 15 minutes one side, and then you're gonna flip and put it for 15 minutes the other side. All right, so our chicken patties are done. As you can see, they've turned golden brown on top. Even our little crusties on the side are golden brown. I did taste them, so our little concern about whether or not they were going to be seasoned is alleviated. They taste really good, actually. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plate it in my containers and then plate actually one for dinner tonight. All right, so we have everything portioned out in our containers. We've got our chicken. I've got my romaine lettuce and my vegan Parmesan cheese. In an effort to not waste the breadcrumbs, I went ahead and used them as croutons in the salad. So here is my dinner tonight, final product. We've got our chicken patties on top of our romaine lettuce with our cheese, our Parmesan, vegan Parmesan, with our breadcrumb croutons with some vegan Caesar. One thing you never want to forget to do when you're cooking is obviously taste it. So since this is my first time making these chicken patties, I want to go ahead and taste a piece of it. So this is what it looks like close up. And so let me taste it. The crunch is amazing, even with my chunky gluten-free panko crust. Super good. The flavor is good. I didn't do the pepper flakes, the red pepper flakes, but I got a little bit of a heat, a little bit of like, oh, okay, there's some seasoned spice in here, but nothing too spicy. The texture, the flavor is good. Obviously it doesn't taste like chicken, but it tastes really good. So I'm really gonna enjoy this salad. Hey everyone, thanks again for joining me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed the recipe. Again, the recipe is in the link below. If you guys wanna make this, give some credit out to Rabbits and Wolves for her recipes. Also, if you like this video, you wanna see more from Hasty Vegan, please hit the subscribe button below and hit the notification button so that way you know when I upload. Thank you guys again. See y'all later.